can communicate with me in some way, and I can understand what they're saying, and all I am really is their voice.
I'm a Roman Catholic priest. I've been ordained for 54 years, and I've worked in exorcisms for about 9.
Using a Ouija board, I would never do it. I wouldn't do it myself because it does open up an energy field and it allows negative energy to enter.
If you don't believe in it, you're still a little worried because you're putting so much concentrated effort into what you're doing, and there's still always the possibility that it might be real. So it's a bit of a test of your ego, really, and just how dangerous you're willing to get. Are you willing to contact spirits? You might not even believe in them, you think it's nonsense, but even so, you get into the right atmosphere and you really convince people, for sure.
And so we have a number of people who like to deal with demonic things. Whether they realize it or not, they play with the occult. And so when you play with something, you're going to get burned. When you start opening the door of curiosity, something is going to come through that door.
I think when you're looking for the trouble, that kind of energy, it attracts the trouble that they're looking for.
And if you do believe in it, then what are you going to ask the spirit?
You know, there's sometimes when I have doubts or questions about what I'm seeing or what I'm hearing. I can see things in my peripheral vision, like a person standing there, and then when I go to look, they're gone.
You're not sure what to expect, and your mind starts filling in what could possibly happen. You start recalling all that you know and all you've seen in the dark, especially if you've seen a lot of scary movies. You're going to fill that in.
Dig into it yourself and kind of come up with your own thing. That's why it's good to be skeptic, yeah. Be a little apprehensive about believing all this stuff.
I think people they look for answers any way that they can, just to seek some sort of semblance of an existence.
Giving people messages from their loved ones that have passed over is probably one of the most healing things that they can experience, because I feel that they're so lost and they're missing this person so much they just can't think of anything else.
The world's just kind of diving into a lot of fancy lately.
And now with the internet and YouTube and things like this, that evidence can be put out there for just anybody to see and come to their own conclusions.
I'm only concerned about it if I fear. But if I don't fear, he can't hurt me.
When your psyche is shattered, especially from a young age, it's kind of easier to allow those types of influences in.
It leaves a scar, it leaves a mark, and that's what I call the weak spot. They'll use that to manipulate the person.
When your soul is broken in an early age, it's kind of like leaving the door open for things to inhabit.
Negative energy is a term that's put out by New Age religion.
We are vibrational energy. That's what we are. Most of us is non-physical source energy. We are physical source energy in our bodies, but then there's also non-physical source energy.
I think that there's more that we are aware of that when it comes to mental illness and the paranormal.
Personally, I believe that there's a lot not understood, and that we need to really dive into the person themselves to understand what's going on.
If a person were to witness an exorcism, they would find it very different than what the filmmakers make. Because the films are doing it in order to impress, and they're making it so that it becomes dramatic.
Ed and Lorraine Warren, they're the OGs. They're legends.
Having worked with them, at first I was impressed. Later on, I became more and more unimpressed because they were not working out the way she had predicted or said it would happen. However, to their credit, they were the only ones that were trying to step into the breach to try to understand the whole phenomena. Skeptic or not skeptic, this is not something to play with. We've had a number of occasions where people were curious and they're still paying for it.